Tonight on Elon Local News.
In the wake of mass shootings across the country, Campus Police Chief Joe Lemire joins us live to discuss Elon's plans.
Spring sniffles, how allergy season is affecting Elon students and what you can do in preparation.
From the front lines to the classroom, how one Elon student is managing school and a career.
Those stories and more.
Elon Local News starts now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Annemarie Bonner.
And I'm Naomi Washington. This is Elon Local News.
Newtown, Connecticut, Parkland, Florida, Uvalde, Texas, and now Michigan State University.
Elon University hosted a communal discussion earlier today in upstairs Lakeside to talk about these mass shootings and safety in our community.
Campus Police Chief Joe Lemire attended the discussion today.
He joins us live tonight to answer our questions. Chief Lemire, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So in a recent email that was sent to students, there was a video attached that was from Texas State that was from 2015. Can you explain how this video pertains particularly to campus, but also if there's going to be an Elon-specific video made to educate students in the community?
So right now we adopted the avoid, deny, defend. Now there's run, hide, fight out there that a lot of people use. I think avoid, deny, defend is a little more strategic. You know, avoid the person out there, you can defend yourself, deny them access to where you are. So we use that for training, but we use it as the tail end of the training. We do a whole lot of stuff with campus where we train people how to prevent it, how to report it, what do we do with the information if it's reported, all the way up to, before we do the presentation, we go there and take pictures of people's workspace or classroom space, and then we put that in the presentation so we can use people's actual space to talk about how to secure doors, how to defend yourself, how to use an improvised weapon, how to take care of yourself or get out of a building. Alternate ways, not just one way. So we build it all in.
Sure. And so can you tell us if that presentation will be shared, like the video is shared to students? Is there a way to maybe send that out to everyone? Is that part of your plan as well?
Well, the video is available for everyone. The actual training where we would come on site is available when people ask us to do it. So I just got here in 2021, and I really took it onto our department to start doing that training. So it's been a two-pronged thing for us. One, train our own people. What do we do if, God forbid, it should happen? Putting the right people on our staff and bringing in people that have instructor status and rapid response and things of that nature. And then also, how do we train the community? So people are starting to understand that they can get a hold of us, and I'm in the process of training multiple people on my staff, so if somebody calls, it's not always just me. We can send out multiple people to do it. So we want to get out there more.
Sure.
So we want people to know that they can ask.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up training, and just referencing the talk that was held today on campus, were there any comments or concerns that students brought up that made you surprised?
No, there's always a lot of discussion about guns and what do you do about guns and access to guns, things of that nature. But I think there's a lot of commonality when we were talking about mental health issues and what governments need to do to invest in that type of thing. Specific to campus, there wasn't anything specific. It was more globally what we should do and what are those reporting structures. Because I think a lot of people have a lot of barriers to reporting because nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to be called any kind of name like you're anti-religion, you're racist, you're, pick an anti-topic, and nobody wants to be that. So there's those barriers to reporting where we're saying, please come to us or come to someone else on our team and report it and let us get to the issue at hand.
Sure. And I know when we've spoken before in previous interviews and stuff, you've touched on how safe Elon is as a place. Can you offer any reassurance or any security for students to, understand that Elon is a safe place? But is there anything you would say about specifically the risk of a mass shooting here on campus?
I think the risk is possible anywhere. And I think that we want to get people that level of don't be terrified, but you can be cautious too and understand if something happens, who do you report it to and have that confidence. But also have the confidence in our department that we're one spot away from being fully staffed. And the people that I've brought in have anywhere from 0 experience to 25 years experience and had those levels. We have 2 instructors on our staff just in rapid response. And if something happened, we're trained to go out and deal with it. We have the tools we need, we have the equipment we need, we have everything that we need. Some of it was based on Uvalde, and we took some of that to heart and improved our equipment. But we have that there. But on the backside, with all of our partners on campus, that we deal with stuff. We're not siloed in information, so we deal with that when that comes in. So we have a competent team. I think that's the reassurance you give people. We have good people in place.
Gotcha.
All right, well, Chief Lemire, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. Elon University students are required to submit proof of health insurance before registering for next semester's classes. The deadline is March 17th, which is just over 3 weeks away. The requirement comes just after the university announced they would offer health insurance through Student Blue. Our Kiera O'Connor sat down with Dean of Students, Janelyn Patterson, to find out more.
Elon or
Thank you so
Student
much.
Blue or Blue Cross Blue Shield offered the plan that we felt like best met our students.
I think a lot of what's on students' minds when they hear university is offering health insurance is that cost associated with it. So can you tell me a little bit about what that cost will look like for students who both choose to opt into Student Blue and those who do not choose to opt in?
So as far as insurance costs go, it's about $1,300 a semester. Which for many students is going to be much less than they would pay even if they had a single really trip to the emergency room. Might be more than if they had an MRI or those things. Graduate students will be about $1,900, a little bit more than that, because they're in a different risk pool for insurance a semester. But it still is a very comprehensive plan because it covers all of the facets of the Affordable Care Act. So it includes mental health coverage, it includes coverage for prescriptions, it includes coverage for tests, it includes inpatient and outpatient benefits, it includes gender affirming care, it includes reproductive care and other kinds of concerns that students might have. So it's very comprehensive.
What's the number one thing that you want students to understand and know about what's coming?
Well, one I would say is that this is not mandatory insurance if they have other insurance. That as long as they have insurance they can waive out. And we use very broad criteria. As long as it provides emergency coverage in Alamance County, then it will meet the waiver criteria. If the student doesn't meet the waiver criteria, then they can, if they want to go to the marketplace, then they can certainly do that. They just would then upload, once they get their coverage, they would upload it to the.
Head to elonnewsnetwork.com for the full Q&A with Dean Patterson. If you have questions you want us to find out about Student Blue, send them to enn@elon.edu.
Now is our Michael Wolff with a look into this week's weather and some tips for seasonal allergies.
Michael is live on Citroen Plaza with us tonight. Good evening to you.
Meteorological experts and medical experts in North Carolina are expecting that the spring allergy season is going to come 1 to 2 weeks to the Carolinas this year. We sat down with Dr. Jeanette Archinal to get her recommendations. Sniffling, sneezing, itchy eyes. These are the sights and sound that fill Elon University and the Office of University Physician Jeanette Archinal come the start of spring allergies. Archinal says she usually tells students to start taking medicine March 1st, but as the season comes earlier, she's backing that date up. Allergies are an issue for Elon Jr. Caitlin Cirillo. She says that coming to Elon from a different state made her realize that she had spring allergies.
As soon as the flowers bloom, as soon as the world turns yellow in North Carolina, I start to get like a really runny nose and I just feel really congested and it's just really frustrating.
Students can get ahead of high pollen counts through a number of tools, including ones that are right in their pocket. Dr. Archinal recommends students download an allergy or forecasting app or use the many websites that are available online.
It just means we all have to be a bit proactive. It's one of the reasons why I've shared with the people here on staff, and I think everybody in North Carolina should probably have, is look at good websites to give you updates on pollen counts. There are some good free downloadable apps for your phone that'll give you a heads up on pollen counts, because that way you can see, okay, pollen count now is 4, and then in 2 days it's 6. Okay, that tells me it's going up. I need to get my medications in now before I have bad symptoms.
A bit of a drizzle out here now on Citroen Plaza, but higher temperatures and high pollen counts are going to stick around in the week ahead. So now let's take a look at your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow we'll see a high of 72, 72 again on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, rain moves into the area with the high temperatures sticking around. The rain will move out of our area by Friday evening, and then on Saturday, a much needed cooler day. You'll see a high of 66 and a break from the rain. That's all for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Michael Wolff, live on Citroen Plaza.
Thank you so much, Michael. Coming up, one Elon student takes us behind the scenes of his music production process.
Also ahead, we'll tell you why a local coffee shop is keeping its doors open longer for Elon students.
You're watching Elon Local News.
With 81 days until graduation, this year's keynote speaker already knows some advice he plans to give to the class of 2023. Ashton Newhall graduated from Elon in 1998. He's an entrepreneur, former Elon University trustee, and was a 2007 Alumnus of the Year. He says he's excited to share a bit about his journey at Elon and beyond.
There's a lot of, obviously, commonality in our shared experience. And I'd love to talk maybe a little bit about that. And just, the fact that Elon was really a seminal part of my life and really enabled me to have so many opportunities beyond when I was there.
2 ceremonies for the class of 2023 in Schar Center on May 19th. Newhall will speak at both ceremonies.
Elon students are often balancing schoolwork, extracurriculars, jobs, and a social life, but one is keeping up with it all while working on the front lines. Our Betsy Schlehuber got to know this essential worker.
At night, sophomore Eric Mulford works on the front lines as a paramedic with the Burlington Fire Department. The next day, Mulford is a student in Elon's first cohort of nursing students. As the oldest student, at 41 years old, Mulford says he feels like a big brother to others.
The first cohort in graduating class, I had the opportunity to come here and be part of something that's pretty big as far as developing this program and helping these younger students, get through the program and become great nurses.
Mulford has worked in Burlington for 5 years. As a practicing health service worker, Mulford not only learns, but teaches and assists with research at the nursing school. Mulford says he wanted to go to nursing school because being a paramedic will soon become too physically demanding.
Being 41, you get to the point where I can't, keep climbing up and down these ladders and trucks and doing all these different things.
Outside of Elon, Mulford is married to sports management professor Dr. Cara Lucia and has 4 children. He said finding a balance between family and school hasn't been easy. Luckily, they are able to take time away from themselves. While Mulford may not be in the typical age range of a college student, he says that factor should not stop someone from going back to school or going to school at all.
Education is important, and it should continue to grow and learn every day. So as far as me, making a decision to go back to school later on in life again, I think that's, it's just a continuous growth.
And even though Elon is filled with traditional students, Mulford wants non-traditional students like him to know that they can thrive too. Betsy Schlehuber, Elon Local News.
To read more about Mulford's journey at Elon, pick up a copy of this week's Pendulum.
For students looking to get some extra study hours in at a coffee shop, one Gibsonville business is extending its weekend hours. The Gilded Bean Coffee Bar will be open longer on Sundays for customers. The shop used to close at 3 p.m., but now it will stay open until 6 p.m. Owner Chuck Beard says he noticed it was the busiest day of the week, and Elon students love studying there, so extending the business hours was an easy decision.
It seemed like the thing to do, that we would be losing business if we didn't. Because I feel like if they knew they had to be out of here at 3, they would just go somewhere else.
Lyon regularly comes to the Gilded Bean on Sundays to study. She says it's been great to have more time in the afternoon to do her work there.
Like, it's nice to just have like a good chunk of the afternoon and be able to just sit down versus, you know, if they close earlier, you know, then like that would limit a lot of, you know, the time.
Beard says he will continue to make business decisions based on input from Elon students. That said, the Gilded Bean wants to hear your ideas for what snacks and drinks they should sell next. To do that, leave a comment on the Gilded Bean Instagram page or let the staff know while you're there.
Elon sophomore Jacob Laxton put out a new album, and his music video has nearly 300 views on YouTube. Our Annemarie spoke with him about the process behind producing.
Elon's sophomore Jacob Laxton has been producing music for 5 years, but his newest album, Full Stop, is the first one that includes his own vocals in the songs. From freestyle hip-hop beats to melodic acoustics, Laxton says that each song has a different musical creation process.
It's a statement of like where I'm at right now in life, or where I was at in life. And so that's why the album hits so many different parts, emotional parts. That's why the album is so vulnerable, because all these songs are talking about things that I deal with or that I perceive.
Laxton says through his music writing process, he has learned to wear his heart on his sleeve. He says seeing people react to his art is the reason why he makes it.
I've had friends like, after listening to this, come to me and like just give me like a big hug. Like they just like realized who I was, and like they kind of understood me a little bit better, which is awesome.
One song on the album, called Growing Pains, is one Laxton says was his creative outlet for coping with the transition to college.
I was just so used to having like my parents and like going home every day, and like I didn't have a home, so it was really weird. And I think it's normal for everybody that goes to college or away from home deals with. But in that song, I just was really just explaining that and processing that and like coping with myself through that songwriting.
Laxton says as a songwriter, he hopes for people to relate to his music. For now, he says he is looking forward to focusing on making music with others and performing some of his new songs down the line. Annemarie, Elon Local News.
Full Stop, Laxton's album, has 7 songs and is available on all streaming platforms. The first track, Trust, has a music video that is available on YouTube. The music video was produced by fellow Elon students.
The women's lacrosse team is making headlines, all for its team effort before a game. The full video ahead.
Plus, the men's basketball team is honoring its senior players. What's next for the Phoenix in the postseason?
You're watching Elon Local News.
Wednesday marks the beginning of Women's History Month, and the Elon women's lacrosse team showed it has all the grit and girl power this weekend. The team's bus got stuck in Fairfax, Virginia prior to its game against George Mason University. The players pushed the bus out of the grass and mud and went on to win the game 14-13. Now that is one way to warm up.
Elon men's basketball celebrated its senior class over the weekend when the University of Delaware came to town. Our Max Wallace reports.
John Bowen III.
John's always been about trying to help the younger guys. Just high character, terrific young man.
Gerald Gillen's Butler.
But just his presence on the floor, his smile, his energy, it really means something.
Sean Halloran.
What he's meant for us in terms of his leadership and just understanding our system, helping the young guys.
Andrew Junkin.
Bright, funny, personable. Andrew Junkin, he's meant a lot. He just continued to be positive and just encourage guys along the way.
And Torrance Watson.
It's a pleasure to have coached him, inherited him.
Were all honored in Elon men's basketball senior day festivities prior to the team's final regular season game against the Delaware Blue Hens. After the game, Halloran reflected on his time as a member of the Maroon and Gold.
I was just able to come here and be myself, and that's really all I could ask for, trying to find a school. I mean, I couldn't have chosen a better school to come to, so it's been amazing.
Watson echoed Halloran and said he's thankful that Taylor came along in his final season.
So it's been amazing for me too. I came under Coach Sharkey and then had the blessing and grateful to get Coach Taylor. It's been a wonderful time. Even though we've lost, I think the things that we'll remember later on in life is the bond that we have with this team.
Watson's night was cut short after he picked up a 5th personal foul in the second half. While distraught in the moment, Watson says his teammates' support allowed him to move past the adversity.
it was a tough moment because it's like knowing that it was my last game, got my last foul. But one thing I can say, like the coaching staff and my brothers was there for me. Like when I was falling down, I was crying a little bit, and my teammates came and picked me up.
Max Wallace, Elon Local News.
Though the regular season is over, head coach Bailey Taylor says he's proud of his team's perseverance and strength.
With the regular season coming to a close, the Phoenix will head up to the nation's capital for the Colonial Athletic Association men's basketball tournament this weekend. Halloran says if the team wants to make a deep postseason run, it needs to find what works for them.
I think when we went on our winning streak, all 5 guys on the court, even the people on the bench, we're on the same page at all time. Playing positive, not worrying about the next wrong thing to happen, but just playing hard. And I think we lose sight of that sometimes.
The Phoenix will play in the CAA tournament as the 9th of 13 seeds. Its first game is this Saturday against the Tribe of William and Mary at noon.
Coming up, sights and sounds from this year's Black Solidarity Conference.
That's all the news we have for you this evening. Thanks for watching Elon Local News.
Before we go, the Elon University community celebrated Black Joy this weekend with the 9th annual Black Solidarity Conference. Our Kira O'Connor has the highlights.
Excited thinking about like all the information that I can learn, the things that I can apply to myself, and then like having my friends there with me so they also learn and we can also kind of like grow from that, especially like with it being the Black Solidarity Conference. As Black people, we can learn from that and definitely apply that to our education. And then with the speaker that we have today, we can apply that to our life outside of college.
I hope that people walk away with another level of appreciation for Blackness in general. There's so many facets to the culture, and I hope that people can just take something away from that. Even being Black, like there just may be some things that you don't realize it's a part of the culture.